Hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody. Thursday night, Garblag North America, where we are continuing on our playthrough of Achtung Cthulhu, Shadows of Atlantis. We'll do the round table. Everybody can introduce their characters. We'll do a little recap of what happened last week. Not much. It was a big fight. And then we'll jump into it. So, Jeff, tell us about Pavel, please.
Yes, Pavel Voracek and his friend Gregor. Pavel is nomadic druid. He's from the mountains of Carpathia. He's journeyed far and wide, both on the earth and in your dreams. And yes, he casts some spells, controls over the elements, these things like that. And his marmot friend, has taken up a very bad habit thanks to Henri's influence, and he's starting to smoke, and it's going to be a very difficult conversation when the science eventually reveals that that's bad for you.
Yeah, eventually. Eventually. He'll probably die before he gets to that point.
No.
No.
Marmots have a very long lifespan. Yes, like hundreds of years.
We'll jump back to the future so he can actually catch up.
I still don't think that's enough time. Even at the tail end of the war, I still think they're giving out warnings to about cigarette smoking. They're actually handing out more cigarettes in your what are those called? What are they called?
MREs.
MREs. Thank you, MREs. You're getting a pack of smokes in there, so they're not advertising that. Aaron, tell us about Leopold.
I am Leopold Brun. My friends call me Leo. I am a fairly powerful psychic voyeur at this point, an insightful telepath. I have been known to use telekinesis to turn human beings into balls of meat and bone. This is somewhat disturbing to some of my friends, but very effective battle technique. Lately, I've been enhancing my power by finding ways to draw upon the subconscious energies of my associates. And this has awakened an entire new world for me that I will be studying.
Very good. And Jeremy, tell us about Jonathan.
Yeah, I'm Sergeant Jonathan Morris, career soldier, head knocker, experimental subject, all that good stuff. After spending time around Leo and Pavel, I decided I would become a wizard too, but I'm a muscle wizard, and I cast Fist.
Yes, this is true. This is accurate. And our newest addition, Henri.
Yes, Henri has returned, younger than ever as we've gone back in time, and a little confused how he got these extremely weird, almost psychotic people partnered with him. But, cigarettes and baguettes go a long way with friendship. So he's working his way to find his place in this group.
There you go. And unfortunately, Ruby cannot join us this week. So we're going to venture on without the hero of this story, Ruby. So what happened last week? So we started the complication where we had the party split. Half were at the front door, half were on the other side of this compound, this monastery, this veiled monastery, if you will. You were approached and attacked by various enemies, some magic wielding, some martial artists, others were Noctwolf, and you mopped the floor with them. You probably killed, 30 or 40 enemies. You walked in, you destroyed the tower. I don't remember how you destroyed the tower. You did something to it, that's for sure.
Whirlwind, I think. Probably.
Whirlwind? Okay.
Towards the end, yeah.
You took their copy of the Book of the Machine, which was incomplete. You also took another book too, didn't you? I don't remember the book they were using to translate it. I believe the code, the cipher book.
Stanzas of the Dead.
That's it.
Stanzas or the Zed.
Zed. And then I don't know. You basically ransacked the place. You left. You went back into some water. You teleported back to the lake you were at, and you hunkered down for the night. You slept for a couple hours, and boom, it's morning. Right? I think that's just about everything.
Yep. We did thoroughly destroy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The veiled monastery, but yes. Other than that, yeah.
It's true. And that was last session in a nutshell. I was gonna put a disclaimer on the YouTube video of it, and I forgot to, saying go to the last 15 minutes for story of this video if you want to see story. I didn't. I forgot to put it on there in time. But I was tempted to.
The fight was fun. I mean,
The
it
fight
really
was fun.
one-sided, but it was fun.
It was fun for you guys as you just mangled everything I threw at you, wave after wave. And I said this last week, and I did have them all set aside off the map or invisible. So there were a set number of bad guys, and they just trounced them. It wasn't a case of copy and paste, though I could have. But I don't think it would have helped. I think you guys would have still walked over everything I just copy and pasted if I had done so. But we're back. You're with Dawa. You're with the nomads that are guiding you through the mountains, and you're gonna head back to go see Serling Lama and return to him. Let him know it's done. And he was going to give you directions or let you know where to find the two more of the Paladians. You have two already. You have the shield, and you have that sun statue.
Mm-hmm.
So we will head back. It is a rather uneventful journey back on your mules. You see some more wild marmots as you're making your way through the mountains along the way. No wolves this time.
Gregor goes around and he starts giving cigarettes to all of them. Like, here you go. That's what I'm imagining. In my
They
head.
start chewing on them,
Just like
eating them.
It's marmot mafia.
You're gonna have there's gonna be marmots who are addicted to nicotine in the mountains of Tibet.
it's just gonna destroy the entire ecosystem.
Mhm.
So there's gone.
Stunt their growth. They're all gonna be miniature marmots going forward. They all got raspy voices. But yeah, you guys make your way back. After, again, it's a few days travel, but you're up high in the mountains, and down below you, the ruins of Kung Rai are a welcome sight when you see them once again. That is Serling Lama's home. Below that, down in the valley, you also see the airplane sitting there safe and sound in the meadow down below the city, the abandoned city. So it's not where it landed. It's now been moved closer. And from this height, it looks like everything is okay with it. Looks like it's in tip-top shape. And you guys, you head down the winding paths, the switchbacks, to the Lama's retreat, where he's waiting. He's got a big smile on his face, and he greets you. Oh, I'm so happy you returned. I'm so pleased that you were successful. I saw everything while you were there, and I was very impressed. I was very impressed with what you did, and thank you for taking care of Dawa and keeping him out of danger. When you see him, he looks frailer than when you left him just, maybe 10 days ago. But his voice is still really lively, and his eyes just have like a glimmer of excitement in them. Like, you can tell, like, this was a big deal, and he's very, very pleased with what you've done. And he says, "Oh, you returned with the copy of the book. You didn't destroy it or leave it behind?" He approaches you, Pavel. Because I know you're the one who took it, right?
Pavel was probably like reading it like the whole way back as much as he could, just getting us. Yes, we could not bring it. Well, I guess I could not bring myself to destroy a book. That's just wrong. Knowledge is itself not evil. It is how we use it. So, if you do not want to keep it, I'm more than happy to. I can keep an eye on it, protect it. I'm pretty good at that kind of thing.
He said, "May I have it to destroy it to ensure it does not fall in the hands of evil again? I have translated my copy into English for you." And he goes in the sack next to me, pulls out this tome, and he hands it to you.
Well, when you put it that way.
Isn't this one in Chinese or something? The one that we
Yeah,
have, or-
well, yeah, and they were sending it. Yeah, it was in Chinese, and then
Yeah,
they were
it was
ciphering across. But
ciphered.
this one is written in Chinese or Mandarin or Cantonese, and it's not complete. If you recall me saying, like, there's just pages kind of trail off, and missing passages, and there's blank pages for whole sections.
You honor me with this gift. Thank you so very kind. Yes, of course. Take this one and destroy it. And I will cherish this gift, and I will read it, and I will definitely not do anything terrible with the knowledge that comes from it. Nothing terrible at
This
all.
is translated from the original Atlantean version that I have in my possession. You will not find a finer copy or specimen.
Wait, why did you make a copy of the original if we were getting rid of a copy that was already
Well,
made?
this is meant for the hands of good. I think the Americans or the English may
And you
find this
want to give it
useful.
to him?
Oh, he's a good
I
man.
thought you saw everything that was going on when
he's
we
a
were,
good man. He did what he needed to do.
We got teleported into like a rock or something.
No, I teleported you to cliff, and then it took you. It's like when you go to hit Zippo and the light doesn't come on the first time, you just got to do it the second time and it works. Sometimes that is magic. Yes, Leo. Sometimes things kind of flutter out every now and then. If at first you don't succeed, something else.
Indeed, Henri. We'll find that this sorcery that Pavel uses, it draws upon energies that are not easily defined in this world that we, as opposed to my own psychic abilities, which are quite controlled through the own powers of our mind. It's, but both can be undependable under certain adverse situations. Unlike your very powerful pieces of bread, or Sergeant Morris's shield, magics and psychic abilities have their shortcuts.
Like watching people's dreams?
That is for protection, of course. We have many things out
oui,
there that
oui,
could
oui.
infect people's minds. I don't poke and pry. You have privacy. I'm just kind of skirting around. Like I said, Sergeant Morris keeps watch when we all sleep on the camp and everything, and I keep watch on dreams. That is all.
I need his
This is-
second cigarette.
this
He
is a
has
skill
two in
that-
his mouth now.
A skill that I must indeed master. When we were in the dreamlands of the Duat, and again when I was using my abilities in our fight at the monastery, I sensed a great hunger behind the subconsciousnesses that connect us all, and I think that I must master what you know, Pavel, so that I can perhaps find a way to safeguard against this evil that I have sensed.
Yes, I am more than happy to enlighten you with as much knowledge as I have. But mine is limited. I do not claim to be all-knowing, of course, but I will be glad to impart upon you all that I have learned in my travels.
You are most kind.
And very good, and that is why I am getting this book, Henri, because I am kind and good, and I will definitely not do anything terrible with it, intentional or otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I like to read
Good
a
people.
little bit before bedtime,
When the four of you or five of you finished, he interjects. He's just sitting there watching you, smiling as the five of you chat to one another. He goes, I did promise to tell you where to find the next two of the Paladine. The ancient artifacts from Atlantis that were scattered when it fell. I have found the position of two more. It is not outlined in the Book of the Machine, though the Book of the Machine will tell you about these items, their possible uses. It will not tell you where to find them, which is good that the Germans don't know where they are, even with the little translation they did receive. But they have knowledge on how to use them. First things first, the closest one is known as the Nea Weapon of the Flame, and it can be found in Alora Caves, just north of Bombay, not too far from. You can go to India, not too far from here. It's most your closest one you can go to. The other one, I believe, is an artifact known as the Cup of Yima, and it is also associated with fire, but it is located in the fire temples of Parsi, close to Ishvaran, Persia. Those are the next two things you need to acquire before the Germans or other evil.
What do these things do? I was not here on the
Great question.
artifact train.
Well, you now have the Book of the Machine, and you can do your research. No, it does not speak of them by name. It just describes these items. It doesn't doesn't get into great detail about each one, but there is a chapter dedicated to each one in there. Including your shield, and he points to you, Jonathan. Atlantis, if you read in there, was tasked with providing a shield of protection for my doomed city of Atlantis. It's a very, very powerful device. But it needs to be coupled with another item.
The baguettes.
No,
understand.
not bread. You silly man.
I mean, if you want to beat on my shield with your bread, that's fine. I'm not going to stop you.
Just seems like no French artifacts. Just kind of confused, you know. Everybody else gets one, but where's the French one?
Oh, you probably get the cup, right?
Maybe. I have a little wine that's been aging since my travels.
There you go.
Plus, there's like a fifth one that we haven't even
Oh.
explored, I think. So it could be the hidden one right there, you know?
The
You're
hidden
late to the
baguettes.
party, so maybe the French artifact is similarly late to the artifact party.
It's like some ancient starter yeast.
So you know that there's 5 Paladins in total. You have 2. He's directed you to 2 more. So there's going to be 1 more in your journey you're going to have to find and locate once you acquire these 2. He says, I have 1 more gift for you. And he goes back into that bag, that sack, and he pulls out this small carved statuette of a robed figure. And who's got the highest reason here in the group? Who's got the highest reason?
Not
7?
me.
Not me.
Leo's reason is 9, but
It's more than me.
Ruby's is
Amazing.
also 9, so
I think Ruby would
Oh,
be
he's
the
going to hand it
person.
to Ruby then. And you look at this thing closely as he hands it over. It's like an androgynous figure. It doesn't depict male or female or anything. It's just this robed figure. And it's oddly heavy. You see Ruby kind of like, whoa, when she takes it, she kind of braces. And you see that there's almost like cuts or slits where the arms meet the shoulder, like that the arms are almost articulated. And he says, this is how you use it. When you are close to a Paladin, the arms will move. They'll move up to show you the direction of the elevation. They'll point you which way you need to go when you are near one, when you're close to one. Use this and the rest of your journey to help locate the remainders.
how does it not just point to the shield all the time?
Magic. That is a great question, Henri. Or the sun sculpture.
I need a third cigarette.
Atlantean
because
magic, Henri.
We
Just like
have
your
them
French
in our
magic.
possession. Maybe that is why.
Yeah.
You know.
So
I swear
I'm
to
just
God,
gonna
when this
say,
5th one is not a baguette, I'm going to be so pissed off.
my coping mechanisms are I don't dream and I don't ask questions.
I'm learning to stop
Let's
doing
go with it. It's great.
Just roll with it.
Just become a zombie. Just let the world take you.
No, you know, you make of it what you will, but like, have fun.
It's true. He goes, well, your plane, as you can see, has been brought here. The crew is rested and well fed, and you must prepare for your journey back to go acquire the next Paladin.
My friends, I have some distressing news to pass on to you all. I have determined that the greatest threat that we face may not be associated with these artifacts of Atlantis, but this hunger that I have sensed from the Dreamlands. I have elected to stay here at the monastery and study with Dawa and under the tutelage of the Lama to master my skills as a dreamwalker. I have been in telepathic communication with Sir Tauton back at Section M, and he has agreed with my course of action and will be dispatching additional support to the team who will meet you in India. I must apologize, my friends. Hopefully I will be able to rejoin you at some point in the future, but I think our missions at this point now must diverge. And this is in no way because Leo is ridiculously overpowered as a psychic combatant.
And the Lama chimes in. He will be a much appreciated addition to Dawa's teachings. I'm sure Dawa can learn much from
He has smoked a bunch of cigarettes
him.
when you were gone.
We will become thick as thieves, as they say in the Americas.
You gotta have him teach you the meatball trick. It's amazing.
Certainly,
Sergeant
Lamley.
Morris, I will miss you most of all.
Aw, that's so kind. I'm gonna miss you too. Like with all the smashing and the crushing and just
Indeed.
The chaos.
Pavlo, it will now be up to you and Gregor to hold up the magical end of this expedition. I have no doubt with Sergeant Morris's shield and Lieutenant McKay's thumb knives and Henri's bloody baguettes.
Oh no!
Bagels.
I
That's
am
just
so
throwing
offended.
I will do my best, of course. I cannot. We will miss your ability to defend us and to allow us to communicate at different in our minds, and I am sure we will see each other in the dream.
Well,
If,
indeed. Once
yes.
I have mastered this skill, I will seek out your mind and we will converse.
Of course, yes, that will be great, and I can tell you all about our adventures, and you can tell us all about what's happening there, and it will really piss off people who don't want that kind of communication to happen, but it will totally happen.
oh man, I'm not gonna be able to talk to Gregor anymore.
Oh no!
Oh,
Gregor coughs.
It must
Well
be
then.
the natural cycle of life. He's getting older. There's no way it is any other.
Well, that's not true, actually. Actually, Gregor is aging in reverse.
Oh,
He's
he's the
actually
Benjamin
getting
Button
younger.
marmot.
He's got the Benjamin Button syndrome.
That I've not heard of that. Is that good? Is that a good thing? I don't know.
Wiedersehen, my friends. I have much work to do, and I know that you do as well. Good luck, and I hope that whoever the suction M sends to assist you is up to the task of supporting you, my friends.
I hope they
Oh.
are French.
that's a made-up country.
Great.
Okay.
I know. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Well, there's no way they could even be half the man as you are, but we'll work with them.
There is no way they could possibly fill your shoes or your mind or many other things, but I'm sure they will be largely effective, just like Henri has been mostly effective in joining the party.
It would have been easier if you actually teleported me somewhere I could do something instead of in front of 8 people.
Like falling when you tried to climb and just fell on your bum.
That is why you have a baguette. It is a common thing in France. We carry them just in case there is a whoopsie and you fall.
Yeah.
There's just a cushion.
And
A
in fairness,
fascinating country.
some of that might be on me because I usually asked them to teleport me in front of like 8 people. So it's like,
Right?
different
Maybe it was a
tactics.
language barrier.
Muscle memory,
Yeah.
Yes.
And your bum.
Leo's only regret as he walks away is that he never got to fastball special Sergeant Morris
right.
into a knocked wolf commando.
I forgot that was a
Maybe-
goal.
Maybe in the finale.
Bring him back just for
Yeah.
that. The llama goes back in his bag. I have one more gift for you all before you leave. And he reaches in and he pulls out a white prayer scarf for each of you. This is my parting gift. And he's smiling as he walks and puts it around each of your necks. And he looks at all of you and he kind of embraces your hand and shakes it. And he says, I look forward to seeing you once again, all of you. But I must apologize in advance in case I don't recognize you when that should happen.
Is it because you're so old?
This is where we don't ask questions.
Yeah, you just go with it. Don't argue with the old man. With that Dawa, he jumps up and goes, I've got some gifts for you. And he jumps up and he runs over to where you guys are sitting when you're here previously and eating. And he wraps up, he takes cloth and he wraps up some dried yak jerky. He puts some tea in there. And he also takes your tea bowl and he carefully wraps it up and he gives one to each of you, and it's a tea bowl used when you're here. And some of you are aware, like in Indian culture, like Tibetan culture, that it's kind of like sacred. Like you use the same tea bowl basically for your life. It doesn't really change hands. It doesn't really. Nobody else uses it. So he gives this to you as a parting gift, along with some yak jerky and some tea. I will never forget the adventure we had together.
Yeah, it was good times.
Will you come back and visit me?
Sure. I don't really know how to get here, but you know.
I can get you back when the time's right. Will you bring me a sword like yours?
You know what? Keep this one. Actually, Pavel, do you mind? I mean, it was kind of.
Oh,
it was already
no, of course not. No, go right ahead. It will give him something to remember you by.
Yeah, get used to the weight, but you take this one.
He like holds out his hands and his eyes light up, and he's just like, and he's like grabs it and he's looking at it, and he's like, no, I can't, and he's like hands it back to you.
I mean, okay.
I can't. Thank you though. Thank you. We'll meet again.
Deal.
And he sticks out his tongue at you, kind of like how the old man did when he greeted you when you arrived.
I stealthily sneak a pack of cigarettes into his pocket during this exchange.
Do you want to roll stealth?
Sure.
All right. Do me a difficulty 2 to put a pack of smokes in his pocket.
All right, stealth, agility, focus. Oh
my god! Critical success. I was gonna take one of your momentum away. I'll just leave it there. Yeah. So you slip a pack of smokes from your carton of never ending into his robe.
I'll appreciate that later.
With that, the llama goes, It is time. It is time. And he walks with you and the plane crew all the way back down the mountain to the meadow below, and stands there and watches as you all file onto the plane. And Dao was there with him, and the two of them, you look out the window, they're standing, they're waving. So is Leo. Leo's standing. Leo, are you waving? What are you doing?
Yeah, Leo is just kind of floating about 3 feet off the ground, and yeah, he's waving.
And then all of a sudden, as you're sitting there and the pilots start flicking the switches and the buttons, and they're chattering away in excitement and bewilderment, you can hear it in their voice even though you don't speak the language, back and forth. All of a sudden, those red orbs reappear, and you see one go to each tip of the plane, one to the nose, and all of a sudden the plane slowly just starts levitating off the ground, slowly up into the air. And you look down and they're all just down there still waving at you, until finally, once it's high up above the meadow, it's engulfed in clouds once again, and you can feel the plane turn, and it's just being again guided by these red orbs that it was once before.
That is not really fair. I had to walk here, so it's kind of.
You don't know how you got. We never established how you got here.
I know.
The Veiled Valley.
We get it. You were climbing the mountains before it was cool. We understand.
Yes, I am a hipster before there was hipsters.
Why doesn't that surprise me about Henri? The original hipster. So you guys are on the plane. Again, it's a smooth ride. You look and the red orbs are out there and they're guiding you, and you can't see anything. You're clouded in once again. But after some time, again, it feels like hours and hours. The crew, the steward, she's talking. She's like, Can you believe what happened? No one will believe the story of what we saw. Our time there. What do we tell people? What do I tell my family?
None of the things that you saw then. They're not going to believe you anyway, so just say we were delayed. That is all. No need to alarm anybody with crazy tales and that kind of thing. They will look strange at you, and then they will talk behind your back, and then you will have like decades of them questioning your mental health and sanity. And take it from me, people question mine all the time.
What? No, you're solid as a rock.
Is he?
Yeah, and you see Gregor.
Maybe you should not take advice from these two. They don't seem mentally quite all there.
All
You
right.
see, this is what you're in store for. That kind
Right.
of
So
judgment
just
right
maybe
there.
just say nothing. Just say, oh,
Says the guy who uses bread as weapons.
Or like, there's the whole like half truth thing. Like, the plane did go down for a little bit. There was, some nice people there. You drank some weird, milk.
they fixed the plane.
They
You
fixed the
flew
plane.
back.
There was this cool like spring. It was cold. You would think springs are hot. It wasn't. It's really cold. So cold.
Just enough of the truth that you don't feel like you're lying, but not so much that you sound crazy.
Exactly.
All of it is crazy.
I know.
We were gone for, I don't know, just over a week. Won't people wonder where we
Well-
went? There was...
I don't.
No?
I mean, do you have a lot of really close friends and family?
Well, no, just my parents.
Oh, well, they're not really keeping that close of tabs on you, possibly, right?
I suppose. I
I
suppose.
think the whole we get lost and, we had to land and fix engine and then we get up and go. That's enough. That's all. Don't,
Yeah.
that's it.
I'd offer you a drink, but the bar was cleaned out on the way here.
No. Really?
By whom? You?
Looking at Sergeant Morris.
Yeah. Mr. Morris over there.
Oh, that is quite rude. You did not share with anybody, Sergeant Morris?
No, I offered to share frequently.
I think Ruby texted
Ruby
him,
also
didn't she?
drank with you. The two of you
Yeah.
got drunk. You guys missed out on almost everything that happened on the plane because you were passed out drunk.
I just woke up on that mountain.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
I opened my eyes and poof, I was there.
And again, I don't dream. I don't ask questions. My life is just this mysterious blur of occasions. It's delightful.
We should talk about those dreams one of these days. Now's not the time. But, there's probably something there we should talk about. But not now, not now. Yeah, let's enjoy the ride.
Yeah, so you guys continue on, and a few hours, and all of a sudden the clouds start to dissipate, the red orbs move away, and the plane is now being flown once again by the pilots. And you look down below out your windows, and you can see a big, vast city down below, and the radio crackles, and you can hear voices coming over the radio. Again, you don't speak the language, but you can hear a conversation going on over the radio, and the pilots they seem to be kind of flustered and maybe adapting with what is being said to them.
Pavel will inquire
Sure,
with his usual.
because you got the polyglot or whatever.
Yeah. Like, is the radio? Can I hear the radio? Or
You
is
can
it
hear the
coming through
radio.
their
Yeah, I'd say it's
headsets?
loud enough. Remember, it's just like a sheet separating the front and back, right?
Right. What
curtain.
What can I identify the language that's being communicated?
Yes. Do you speak? What do they speak in India? Hindi?
Yes.
Is it? Do
we
you
have
speak Hindi?
I do.
You can. Okay. You can understand. It's coming through and is saying.
Actually, at this point, they would probably all be speaking English because it's still British.
It is under British rule. You're not
Commonwealth.
wrong.
And
So
I speak that too.
yeah. So well, these guys don't speak English though. Is the problem?
Mm.
But we'll say in Hindi, you hear across the comms that the army is wanting them to land at a nearby base for questioning, as they have been gone for this plane and its designation have been missing for 3 months. And you're being ordered to land, and you must answer questions as to your whereabouts, where you've been, and what happened to you.
Okay. Well, I will tell. I will do my best to, because I will do like a two-way translation. Because if I recall, there was the flight attendant who actually could communicate with us and also could communicate with the pilot. So in case she doesn't speak Hindi, I will translate that to her, and then she can communicate to them.
Sure.
And then I will look back at Henri and Sergeant Morris and like, funny story. We haven't been gone a few days. We've been gone a few months. Hey, magic.
This excuse seems extremely poor. The 14th time I've heard it since I met you.
Right, but it's not so much an excuse, so much as an explanation. Like, that's literally what the answer is. It was magical.
Welcome to your new life.
Surprise! You're 3 months older.
Missed my birthday.
Oh, we'll have a party for you when we get down and meet the new team member. But could you tell the pilots that go ahead and just land, like do what they say, and then we really need to come up with a story that makes sense. I think the whole we got lost, plane went down bad, we ate like the other people or something on the plane, and then we're the survivors or something. That would probably not raise any problems, right? That would be realistic. No,
true.
I have a backpack full of bread. I don't think that is going to go over very well.
I mean, Leo's missing, for 3 months. So clearly we ate him.
Why is that the logical conclusion?
Because I don't know, I'm piggybacking off what he said.
Yes.
I mean,
he was all about the team, that guy. He even gave himself over.
He sacrificed himself.
He turned himself into a delicious meatball in the end.
He really did. He was, what a guy. What a guy.
This is the story you want to tell these people.
Well, okay, we don't have to do the cannibalism thing, but the whole getting lost and saying we had to repair the plane and then we took off, I mean, that's pretty much the only story we can tell them, because if we say all the other stuff, I think they'll say we're crazy. If we say we just got lost, or we crashed, or we ran out of fuel, or the engine broke and we've been repairing it since, that's pretty much the only story we have.
And I just have one more question. What about the red glowy thingies that we can't explain that is moving our ship?
I was
not
drunk.
with us anymore.
They wouldn't have seen that.
Yeah, they left. They're gone. See, they're not there anymore. Look out right there, right? See the wing right there with the
Wait, is the plane flying? Like they actually?
Yeah, the pilots are flying it now.
Oh, it was just to get
it's under their control. Remember, the fog cleared, the red orbs flew away, and it was under the control of the pilots now.
Yeah, it's like, you need magic light to get into the magic city or something. I don't know. But now we're back in the regular airplane.
Magic, yes.
Yeah.
Magic.
Sure, whatever.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah. We're lost. It's fine. Now we're found.
Exactly.
We should be really grateful. We should say, oh my goodness, thank you for saving us.
Right? That's
Cannibals.
Totally true. If we want to go the cannibal route, I thought we'd move past that, but if we want to cycle back and
I don't think it's going to fly because we probably would have eaten the marmot before we ate people. So
how dare you? You better watch yourself. He'll kill you in your sleep. What the hell? Careful.
Kill.
You think
Damn. Yeah. Oh, it's good. All right, so the plane descends. It's a bit of a bumpy landing, and as the plane comes to a halt and a stop, you look at your windows and you can see that there are British army soldiers all around it. There's one man standing out in front, and he's standing near the steps near the door, prepared to greet you on your exit. And as the door opens and the steps are lowered for you to leave, he comes aboard the plane. And he holds out his hand, and he's wearing his uniform, and he greets you all. He goes, Lieutenant Arthur Tennyson, it's rather good to see you all. You've been gone for quite some time. When we picked up word that your plane was in the air, we figured something was up. We thought you were lost. It crashed somewhere in the mountains months ago, and we've been searching for you.
Well, part of that is true, but we got it back up and running on our own, and now we're back. It's great to see you. Nice to meet you, and introduce everybody if he doesn't know our names already.
Yeah, he goes around. He goes, "Who is this fellow?" And he asks about Henri.
He's from some made-up place.
Lance, I think it was Pants. What was it again, Henri?
He just starts smoking a cigarette.
Oh my. Oh dear. Where is Leopold?
They ate him.
Dear God, it's worse than I thought.
He went out the way he wanted, though. You know, it was.
Meet him well.
I don't know. That's what they told me to say. I think he's just
We're
like in a
just
desert
playing
somewhere.
joke. We're just playing joke. He went off and he was the one who decided to go like hiking off to find help, while the rest of us stayed around to repair plane. So shit, I don't know where he's at now. That's rough.
You don't know where he's at?
A spiritual journey.
Can we trust this guy? Is this like the type of guy we can trust?
As far as you could tell, like you could try reading him. He's a rank lieutenant. You can tell by his uniform. You can do an insight. Insight observation. You can do instincts, particularly.
Okay.
Difficulty 1. Oh, there you go.
I got the
yeah, he seems general, like he seems shocked. He's actually kind of seems concerned when Leopold's not there. He's kind of surprised there's someone else here, but he seems happy to see you. Relieved, if you will.
Lieutenant, whatever one.
Lieutenant Tennyson, Arthur Tennyson.
Yes, Lieutenant. We are clearly having fun. But suffice to say, he is not here with us. He is on a separate mission, very important. You must trust that he has the good of the world at stake, and I cannot answer any questions beyond that. And this fellow here, Henry, is a very effective covert operative and extraordinarily skilled with numerous weapons of very creative quality, and will be an asset in whatever missions we continue on.
I see. You must not say too much here. We have a debrief planned for you tomorrow. You can unwind. There are messages waiting for all of you from Strang.
Even
back
me?
home. I don't know who you are, so there's no message for you, but you can come along.
Well, you said everyone, and now I feel excluded, so it's a...
Well,
I'll write a message for you. Get a piece of paper, pencil, write on it, fold it, hand it to you. It says happy birthday.
Oh,
Wow. Sergeant Morris, that was... You see, he gets a cigarette and just burns it. So nice of you.
I will need to radio into old Archie and see what to do with you, this Henri fellow. You all vouch for him?
of course.
I mean, he killed a guy with a piece of bread. He's amazing.
Bread, you say?
No, baguette.
Hmm.
I say.
Save it for the debrief, gentlemen. And he shows you all off, and you're taken to a barracks nearby. You have your own quarters and everything. They're kind of like sanctioned up from everything else, and there's guards up and down the hallways, and you guys are escorted. In your rooms, there is a message, an encrypted message, telegram, from Strang back home. Reading over it, the big things that stand out is that he says that you guys are now the front line in a secret war against the Nazi occult threat. He mentions again that Section D has now been reassigned to Section M, and it's been given the name of the Department of the Uncanny, and you are all agents of it. He himself has gone to the country, which you can assume is code that he has moved from the base of operations in London to elsewhere. To further research and help you guys in this quest against the occult Nazi threat. So, you're in your rooms. You're all kind of like sectioned off from one another. You have nothing but time. Let me ask you this. Who has Ehrlichman's notes now that Leopold's not there?
I guess since they are of a like academic nature, it'd probably go to Pavel. Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you make me a Reason Academia roll, please? Just a single Success is all you need.
Any foci would work on this? I have
Mm.
occultism and linguistics in academia.
No, not in this instance. This is
I will burn.
yeah, go for it. We're at the end of a scene, anyways. Basically, we're gonna end the day, so might as well use it. Yeah,
yep,
you're good.
I'm good. 2 successes.
So yes, you have the book, and that reminds you that you should maybe consult Ehrlichman's notes about these artifacts that you were spoken to about, the Agnaya weapon of the flame, the Cup of Yima, and see if he's maybe written about these things in his book.
Okay, so I will hunker down then. I will let Sergeant Morris know I've got some reading to do, and I will do just that.
All right. You flip through the book. You have nothing but time at this point, and you find a couple passages relating to this. I'll show those to you now. And they're in cursive, so they're terribly hard to read. The first one is Elephanta Island. It says circa 5th century AD. Original name Garaputi, the Island of Caves, renamed by the Portuguese for the giant elephant statue on the island dedicated to Shiva. Below that says Alora, which is the name you were given of where you need to go to find this one artifact, the Paladian. It says, an important trade route lies along the edge of a 2-kilometer escarpment, 34 caves in total. Hindu, I don't know what that letter is at the beginning of that word, a Buddhist, created over a period of at least 300 years. Most important, Kailashana, representing Shiva's home, Mount Kailash, carved down from top of the cliff into the rock below over the course of 150 years on the orders of Rashtrakuta dynasty. Complex frequently tied to myths of Atlantis and lost underground cities. See also notes on Var, Persia, which was the other place you were given. Then it says Agantha, painted murals circa 2 BC to 580. Nothing of interest to this inquiry. Then it says Hindu temples in North Shakara, spire above inner sanctum. Worship takes place in the Girtha, man, these words, south Vilmana, pyramidal structures over inner sanctum instead. Musical columns tuned to specific notes. Why here? So these are the notes you could find in his journal specifically on India and anything that has to do with what he was researching here. So Alora sticks out to you right off the bat because that's where Serling Lama told you need to go to find this thing. But there's other notes kind of relating as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's it looks like there's 4 larger sections and then subsections within each of those subcategories.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So you're sitting there and you're looking it over and you're researching and you're reading up on all of this in Ehrlichman's notes and try to tie it together. Just have a few more clues, even though you do have the name of a place to go start looking. If there's any sorts of hints or clues to help you in your journey while you're there. But
representing Shiva's home on Mount Kailash. Okay. All right.
So you guys are given food. It's delivered to your rooms. And Tennyson kind of drops by and ensures on all of your well-being and tells you to get a good night's sleep and that he'll meet you all together in the morning and we can discuss what you've been through and what you've seen. So you guys hunker down for the night. In the morning, you're all woken by a soldier knocking your door, inviting you to the mess hall for breakfast. You go to the mess hall. It's just for you guys. It's completely empty except for you. You guys eat together. You can discuss, the things you read if you want to, Pavel, and what you uncovered the night before heading in and speaking to Tennyson.
Yes, I will debrief the others, of course, about what I've read. Yes, we have lead, possibly. Cross-reference some of what Suri told us with what we had from Ehrlichman's notes. And I think we might have a place we could investigate, but we should probably do the debriefing first before making a decision, I think.
Yeah. So after you guys are done, you've chatted, Tennyson comes in. He goes, "Oh, I hope you all had a good night's sleep last night. If you please come with me, we'll get this underway and we can discuss what happened to you. And I can also tell you what's going on here in India. There's some rather startling events that are taking place that may be tied to what you're all doing here. Please come with me." He brings you down a hallway and opens a door into a classroom within the barracks. Within there is a tall Indian gentleman in a military uniform. He's sitting perched on the edge of a desk, and also sitting in there at one of the desks is Aaron. I'm going to have you describe your character, who's going to be waiting there for them. Your new character.
So when you look in, you see a man who seated there. He's seated very erectly in a military posture, and at first glance, you think he's an old man because his hair is completely white. But then you get a closer look, and he's a young man. First impression is his hair must have been scared white. He's wearing a U.S. Army captain's uniform, and his face is almost completely dead, a dead look to it, no emotions. And his irises are so black, you can't differentiate between the irises and the pupils. And they almost, for a moment, you look at him and the first thing you think of is a shark's eyes. Just nothing there. And he just slowly looks at each of you. Sits back, doesn't say a word, just crosses his arms.
I like him.
It is better than your dreams being, looked at without your consent. Yeah, this is good.
So please, come in. This here gentleman is, and before he could even finish speaking, the Indian gentleman in the military uniform, he walks over and introduces him. He's got a very stern look. He's a young man, very tall, very lean, stern look on his face. He introduces himself as Subdar Indrajit Koshi. He says, "I am a King's Commissioned Indian officer of the Bombay Grenadiers." And he shakes all of your hands. "It's good to meet all of you."
To meet you. That sounds fancy.
Then Captain gets up, walks over, looks at Sergeant Morris. "Sergeant, Captain Ulrich Wolf, Lieutenant McKay, I've been briefed on the two of you military assets. I don't know the Frenchman, but I do know you. Pavel, right?"
Yes. Hello, Pavel Voracek. Pleasure to meet you. Hello. Yes.
Right.
You have a very interesting look to you.
Well, I've seen some shit. Then again, from what I understand, so have you.
Yes, I have. Yes, I see it changed your hair. Not mine just broke my psyche. So, we have lots to talk about.
Yeah, that we do. Let me be clear here to all of you. I've been sent from Section M, seconded here to help keep you alive, Pavel. You are the primary objective.
Me?
Your knowledge of the Atlantean language, Atlantean history, and your whatever this hoodoo shit is people are telling me about means that you and these artifacts are my primary concern. Everyone else, including myself, are expendable assets to be used to protect you to execute the mission. Questions, Sergeant? You seem to be looking at me.
No, that's pretty much been my goal most of the time anyways.
Good to hear. It's hard to find good NCOs. Glad we got one with us.
Thank you.
Well, I am just so very embarrassed right now. Like, that is a lot of attention. I'm not sure how to deal with it, but thank you. It is a pleasure to meet you. You all are very capable, and I am sure I've never felt safer.
You do notice at his side is a slim German officer's sword. And that seems to be the only weapon he's got on him at the moment. But it is a little unusual. So you would pick up on it.
That's more a Sergeant Morris thing, I think. Than a
Yeah.
Pavel thing. Yeah.
It's a cool sword.
And you also have a sword, Morris. Is it at your side? You guys gonna compare swords?
I tried to give this one away. It was declined. Powell got it for me. It's amazing.
For his not real birthday. And then I didn't get anything for Henri's real birthday, but he also didn't tell us until it was like after, so I can't be blamed for that.
It's okay. I celebrated alone last night.
I tried to give him a birthday card and he burned it.
Yes.
Right. Interesting characters. I understand now.
And Ruby's there.
No wonder I pulled the short straw on this duty, but that's fine. We can execute the plan.
We'll even try to keep you alive too.
Unnecessary.
Oh, stop it. Of course we're going to try to keep you alive. I mean, we're not going to guarantee it, of course, but, like, we'll try, like, for sure,
Don't worry, Pavel. You'll either get away with the artifacts as we die, or I'll put you down myself if you can't escape. The mission's
Oh,
free.
great. Oh, wait. Put me... Oh, you mean kill me. I thought... Oh, jeez. Oh,
However,
it's a little warm in here.
I see no reason to exterminate your pet, so I'm sure he can run free. Of course, we're not going to allow that eventuality to come to pass. We're going to succeed in this mission. Are we not, Sergeant Morris?
Of course.
All right, we're clear.
That gentleman who had introduced himself prior, Lieutenant Joshi, he goes, why don't we get Captain Wolf, myself, Lieutenant Tennyson, whoever this gentleman is, a Henri, up to speed on everything. We've read your reports from Vienna, Rome, Egypt. We don't know where you disappeared to after Egypt. Why don't you just give us an overview of just very high level of everything you've done so far? And he's looking at you all kind of skeptically, like he's judging you also. He sits on the desk, leans back, and just looks at all of you sternly.
So here's the thing. We were flying, and then these lights kind of came, and then we landed in this place with this like really super powerful like monk guy, and then like we had to do something to save the world. There were these evil monks. We had to go screw them up pretty hardcore, and we did, and we had to destroy that thing. Then we came back, and all of that only lasted a few days for us. So we came back into like the sky on the plane. A couple months had passed, so that was weird. We didn't really expect it. But long story short, good times. We killed Nazis and monks with blue hats, and we made progress in the war against the Nazi occult stuff.
Oh, Nazis, monks. Where was this? Where were you? Where were you for the last 3 weeks?
I mean, there's this whole
Right.
thing of like walking through water
3
and
months.
coming out in a different place.
Oh,
Maybe
that's right.
time got a little, wibbly wobbly after that happened.
He's looking at you. He's kind of judging you. He's watching your mannerisms as you're saying this. Why don't you refresh my memory about Egypt? What happened to Egypt before you disappeared for the last few months?
So who's this asking us questions?
This
again?
is Lieutenant Joshi. This is the of the Bombay Grenadiers. This is the man that was sitting on the desk waiting for you when you came in.
Right.
King's Commission
And you have
Indian officer.
like clearance. Like I don't really understand how this all works. Being civilian and stuff, like Sergeant Morris, Captain Ulrich, or Wolf, or is this like the type of thing we should share with him? No offense, by the way.
I mean, I might be wrong, but Cap, if you're in the room, I'm assuming you're expecting us to be on the level with this guy. Is that fair to assume?
I don't know, Matt. What does
Yeah.
Captain Wolf know about this guy?
You know he's on the level. He's kind of like a commanding officer here for the local Indian army. So he's even though he's a lieutenant, he's got a lot of power here. And you were debriefed going into this, and you like basically what he's looking for and what you're looking for is you guys want to ensure that these are the Pavel, Jonathan, Ruby, and whoever the hell this guy is that they claim to be after disappearing for 3 months. They're not like Nazi spies or anything like that. And that's why he's trying to get them to like run through things, kind of like make sure stories check out, corroborate prior reports.
Right. So like we went to Egypt, and we had like this journey through the dreamlands where our friend Leo beat this like dude in like some sort of weird game.
He
and,
was
like,
eaten, by the way, if you were wondering why he's not here. He was consumed.
By what? He interjects.
Cannibalism.
Great question.
Who ate him?
We'll save that one for later. Well,
He's hanging out with
Anyhow.
some dude who
Yeah.
may or
the
may
guy who
not.
saved us.
Like, I think he was Atlantean. I sure
He
came across
was.
that way. Yeah.
Yes.
So he's hanging out with some Atlantean guy, like, getting his brain all. It was already like here, but like now he's gonna get his brainwaves like out here or something.
Right. Yes. Mm-hmm. He is still on mission, just a slightly different mission. Like he's taking bigger, broader picture, but we can still count him as an ally. Don't worry about Leo. He will reach out to me in the Dreamlands when it's time to do something else. I'm sure.
Dreamlands.
Right, don't worry. So we were there, we were doing things, and then we recovered, one of these really strong artifacts. Ruby's got it. She might be the chosen one, we think. Well, no, probably she is we don't need to get
It's
into
clear
that.
she is.
Right, exactly. And then we fought some Germans. Like Leo picked a tank up with his mind, or no, not a tank. He picked a Jeep up with his mind, and then Ruby tried to drive a tank, and that was a rocky trip. But yeah, stuff like that. Is that
There's this
jive
really
with
cool
what
like
you're-
giant worm thing that was like scared of the shield.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I totally forgot. That was in the Dreamlands, though. Yeah.
Dreamlands were crazy.
What was the
It
name of the
was.
gentleman that you stayed with in your time in Cairo?
Oh, just give me 1 second to flip back in my notebook, and I can totally get that information for you. Just, hey, how are you doing? Like, what's up with you? Where is it?
Major Mathers.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
Blythe
it.
Mathers.
Major Mathers.
Blythe
I was remembering Blythe,
Major
but I couldn't remember the
Aloysius.
end.
That's
Blythe.
right, Aloysius. That's right.
Aloysius Blythe Mathers. I've got
He like leans back and goes, "Oh, okay, it checks." He looks over at Tennyson. He looks at Wolf. Okay. And where did you pick up this one? He points at Henri. Where did he come from?
Right. So he says he's from some place called France, but we haven't confirmed that. But we met him in the same place where Leo currently has residence, studying with the Atlanteans. Sorry. He's supposedly like a really good guy, because like all of us were supposed to be fighting for good against evil, and he was recruited into that. Now, don't take his outer personality as a judgment of his quality of person. He's actually a very nice guy.
What is that supposed to mean?
No, it means I think you're a nice guy. That you're good. Yeah, I mean, you've got the Gregor seal of approval, so that's good for me.
Okay. Well, seems to check. He looks at Tennyson. He looks at you, Wolf. Seems to check out.
Yeah, the broad strokes are all there. Can't expect a civilian debrief to be all that precise, but they hit all the high points.
What do you, gentlemen and lady, know about the current situation in Bombay?
That we're gonna have to go there, and probably bad things are gonna happen, and we're probably gonna have to kill a bunch of people.
Okay. Have you heard of a group by the name of the Brides of Durga at all? And if so, do you know anything about them? You've never heard of this. You've never heard of.
Did you say Durga?
Durga.
I thought you meant. Yeah, I definitely don't know that, because I have an uncle named Durga, and totally different thing.
You see, he's not amused. He's got a little bit of a short fuse.
Yes, he
He
is.
slams his fist down on the desk.
Was that the
Oh,
one?
is that the
knew.
answer?
We
Does he
haven't.
want to? Should we say no?
No, he says, no,
got no
that's
clue.
fine. That's fine. You've been away for a few months. They're a group of crackpots, extremists who've popped up here in India recently. British intelligence has gathered not many details on them, but Lieutenant Tennyson could fill you in on a bit more. As he is a member of MI6 here watching them and keeping tabs on them. Tennyson kind of chirps up, and it's his turn now to talk. And, yes, we've been doing what we can to learn about this group. They're newer. They've just popped up recently. We believe that they're all women, like Lieutenant Josie said, that they go by the Brides of Durga. We've heard that they are receiving support from a foreign faction. We believe it may be the Germans. But intel has been quite spotty so far. But there a rumor that they are looking to seek a weapon of some sort near Alora, which ties into your debriefing. Does it not? Are you not headed to find some sort of artifact or something near Alora?
Well, yes, that's certainly an option. We have notes from, Mr. Ehrlichman that it is one of the places, indeed. Yes.
But I'd love to go ahead and get it before them, then let them get it, and then have to fight them for it, especially if maybe they know how to use it, because that's the whole reason they were, like, translating things.
Tactics. That's what I like to hear, Sergeant.
Yeah, I'm known for my tactical insights. It's true.
Not what I've heard about you, but that's all right. We'll work on
it.
So
yeah, that's fair.
Well, we believe
why
there's
are
some
they
sort of
looking
weapon.
for this?
Well, we believe it may be munitions. We don't know what. We think they may try to attack the Raj or something. We don't know what they're up to be quite honest. There's quite a bunch of mystery around them. They're just viewed as crackpots, nationalists, but crackpots could be dangerous. And, we're going to head there and look to see if there's some sort of weapon cache that they're hiding or they're moving towards. Like I said, we believe they may be in league with the Germans. Or you are also headed there for some sort of weapon. What do you know of this?
Well, interesting things about, and so I will fill in what we know about the egg. Was it Agnia? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Agneya. If you're for spelling.
Okay, so the Agnia, the weapon of the flames.
Weapon of the flame.
So I'll debrief on that, and then I'll debrief more specifically on what was in Ehrlichman's notes that I read through this. Yeah.
As you're describing this, he pulls out a pipe. He doesn't stuff its back or anything. He just kind of starts tapping it on the desk as he's listening to you, almost like he's concentrating, fidgeting, playing this thing. Interesting. As I sneeze, thank you. No, we don't have any reports of anything like that per se, but perhaps you would be interested in joining us as we head to Alora. We are heading there with a few detachments of troops to try and intercept them and see exactly what is going on. Stop any sort of threats.
We're clearly joining you. Isn't that right, team?
I mean, yeah.
I am French. Why would I take orders from an American?
Well, you'll not be taking orders from the Americans. It would be from the Indians.
Oh,
Lieutenant.
Well, if he would have said something, then I would have said we.
Joshi here is going to be leading this expedition, and he's been given the full authority to look over the services of the Bombay Grenadiers. They'll be at our full disposal. I know it's an unusual situation, but this is the only leads we have, and there's been a lot of rumors. We haven't been able to learn much about these brides of Durga. And we can't risk them being in league with the Germans, as reports are somewhat suggesting.
You said you had MI6 agents, so like they weren't able to come. That this is the report for. That's all they got.
I
is
am an
that they-
MI6 operative. This outfit has been very secretive. We know, like I said, they're only women. We've learned also that they worship Shiva, and they're extremists. They're willing to kill others and even themselves for their goals.
And their goals, is, as you know, is really just to get this weapon. You don't necessarily
A
know what
weapon
they
of
plan.
some sort. We're worried that the Germans might be launching some sort of attack here and extending their arm of the war out here in India. We want
Maybe
to...
taking out like British colonialism that is in the air, something like that against.
Yes,
you.
indeed.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm seeing it now.
So we worry about what it is they're up to.
Well, we definitely can't let the Germans get a toehold in here.
Yes, indeed.
That's right. If anybody's gonna irresponsibly handle an artifact they don't understand, it's gonna be us.
Why do you speak
That's-
of an artifact over and over? How do we know it's not weapons? Bombs,
Well,
guns,
Right.
ammunition,
Maybe
I
we should use
mean,
a
come
different
on.
word.
tanks.
What's that
you've
term,
encountered a
like
tank?
Arkham Razor or something? It's
So,
always
like-
something weird.
Well,
This-
regardless of what it is, we got to get there first, and we got to find it, and we got to keep them from getting it. Doesn't really matter what it is until we get there. Let's cut the crap and get to work.
Cut the crap.
Yeah, like it.
I don't
Like
understand.
crap
No
is
one...
like half my
Right.
operational usefulness.
Captain
I
here,
mean-
like he was stonewalling us when we come in, but this, I hear this.
I don't
That's all
understand.
right.
No one has pooped. Why are we cutting? I'm just gonna go smoke in the corner.
Happy
Breakers already
birthday!
We will leave immediately to Bombay. We'll fly there, and then we'll make our way to Elora.
Okay, I mean we've
You
had
can-
some weird luck with planes lately, but that's cool.
We feel free to take any arms or ammunition you may need that's here on the base before we head out.
What is
Captain
the
Wolf would gather the group real quick first and be
Sure.
listen. Clearly, this group is not a military organization. You all work for Section M for whatever reason. And I understand that you operate in some sort of pseudo democracy. And I'm okay with that. I've explained my mission parameters. I'll try to dial back the soldier in me. But I make no guarantees.
That's right. You got a good head on your shoulders. You say something, we'll listen.
So
doesn't mean
we
it
got
will be
some
time.
executed,
we
but
got some time between here and Bombay. If you've got questions about me or what I bring to the team, feel free to ask them. I'll either tell you to go to hell or I'll answer them. One of the two.
Well, they will just read your mind. So sorry.
No,
No.
that was Leo's thing, actually.
Yeah.
Well, your dreams. Let me be more specific.
Hey,
Well, that's way.
listen, nobody goes in my dreams.
Well, there's no
If-
such thing
if
as consent,
anybody-
apparently.
Anybody drags me back into the dreamlands ever again, when I wake up, I'm going to tear their fucking hearts out.
All
I
right.
don't
Let's
know
be
who
clear.
would do something like that.
Right? Who would?
Well, that's cool. You've been too. There's
That's
horrible
why he's
things
got like
there.
shark eyes and like crazy hair.
That's where I got this sword. It was quenched in my own blood as they tried to kill me on the plateau of Ling in
Oh,
Welwysburg Castle
That's badass.
under the black sun. So I'm here to tell you that place is hell, and I don't ever want to go back.
You would not like the previous guy.
Oh, that's good. That is good. All right. So you guys are shuffled onto a plane. You're flown to Bombay that day. When you arrive on the on the landing strip. There are already 3 trucks sitting there waiting for you, and there are 2 sections of the Bombay Grenadiers waiting for you. It's about 20 men, all standing there, waiting at attention, armed with Lee Enfield rifles. You guys get off the plane. They salute the commanding officers as they do so. Lieutenant Josie motions for them to stand down. And you're given a quick briefing by Lieutenant Tennyson, who tells you you're heading to the Temple of Kalistana, north of here. It's about a few kilometers. It's about 354 kilometers, 350 kilometers approximately. It should take us at top speed maybe 5-6 hours to complete the journey. So it shouldn't be too long. Was there anything you need to pick up before we leave?
You see, Captain Wolf's got his carbine, and you can tell he's got a pistol in a shoulder holster, and got his flak vest on. He's ready to go.
Okay.
See.
So you guys board these 3 trucks, and they immediately lurch. You hear the engines start up, and you guys take off, and you hit the roads. Right after you leave, like this army barracks, you hit your typical Indian roads at that time, which are just dirt roads that have been traveled by carts. So it's really bumpy. It's very uncomfortable, as you said, and it's very hot. I'm assuming none of you have been to India. None of your characters have been to India before. And the heat is the first thing, even though you were in Delhi before, but being out here now in one of these trucks, the heat is just staggering as you're traveling on. Remember, we were November when we left?
Mm-hmm.
So we're January, February now. It's summer here, right? Winter over North America, summer here. The heat is just pelting down on you. But it's bumpy, it's uncomfortable. But you guys, it's pretty uneventful. The most you see along the way is you see just like nomadic people. One of the soldiers can let you know, or even Tennyson can let you know, they're known as the Banchara nomads, and you see them herding massive stocks of cattle beside the road and traveling together. The men, they all wear like white tops and bottoms. They have red and orange turbans on their heads. The women wear an array of red, black, green, blue, and white. Their clothes are embroidered with shells, and they also have tiny little mirrors all over their clothing as well, are woven into and sewn on there. But you guys are traveling, and after quite some time, you come around a bend, and next thing you know, boom, the trucks just slam to a halt, and you guys are all kind of jarred, and you poke your heads out from the back, and you look around, and it looks like the road is completely covered in one of these herds of cattle from these nomad groups. And the cattle aren't really moving. The tribe that they belong to, the Banjara tribe they belong to, don't really seem to be moving them along or in any sort of rush. Soldiers kind of get out and they're kind of shouting and they're trying to get things moving along, but nobody really seems to be in any sort of rush on the other side.
Lieutenant Joshi, how long is this delay gonna last?
Yes, I don't know. I can get out there and we can try to shoo them ourselves. We need to get them out of the road. And as he's kind of talking to you, you see a man come over to you, and he kind of greets a group of you, and he starts speaking in Hindi to Joshi. And anybody who understands Hindi, I'm assuming it's just Pavel at this point. He introduced himself as the leader of this group, and he says, I can't move them. I can't get them out of the way. I apologize. He's explaining to Joshi, and Joshi's getting like kind of short-tempered. Get these damn cattle out of the way now. We're on an important mission here. You could tell he's getting very frustrated. And the gentleman who introduced himself, and you understood this, Pavel, as Jadav, he's getting quite flustered, and he's trying to help, but he doesn't know what to do as he's being ordered around by this man.
be translating for everyone, of course, and so that anyone who doesn't speak now knows what's being said, and they'll have it like 90% accurate, and some Pavel flourishes. But it seems as though there is it cattle? Is that what you said it was?
Yeah,
Is that
it's all
good?
cows. You see a soldier raise a gun in the air to like fire it in the air to try and get them going, and one of the people from this nomadic tribe, they come over and they lower the gun, and you see that the leader describes like, "Oh, dude, you can't, don't startle them, it's gonna be worse. They might run into your trucks."
No,
No.
maybe we just introduce like some adorable but unusual creature that they're not used to, and they'll instinctively want to move
Oh
away
my
from
goodness,
it.
I love that.
It's kind of like having a cattle dog, except obviously Gregor's like 100 times better than a blue healer.
We could do a combo. I will set some breadcrumbs up ahead and tell Gregor to lead them towards the bread, and they will start to munch off the path.
Look at this guy, team player.
Gregor will climb out of the wicker basket on my back, coughing as he does. And
I'll light him a new one as we separate, going different directions.
takes a long drag, hops out of the back of the vehicle, throws it to the ground, and just grinds it out. Coughs a bit. Is this what we're doing? Is this our plan?
We're using
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna
marmot to scare the cows.
Well, yeah, and I'm gonna do like baguette, like breadcrumbs to get them to go eat,
Okay.
like munch away from the road.
So what you're trying to use the marmot to scare them?
So
You know,
I mean,
Push them in that direction.
herd
not
them.
scared.
Hurt
Like,
them.
yeah.
Ehrlich is he's scanning around trying to see if there's anything that's causing them to just stop here.
It just seems like they're tired. It's hot. They've decided just to kind of hunker down here. You could use
Like, what are the edges of this herd? I mean, like, how far out does this extend?
It seems to be like gathered around the road and on the road itself. There's probably only like 30 cows here in total. It's not a huge massive, but it's enough to cause a problem, and they're all just standing there. And like members of this tribe are like they're clapping a little bit to try and shoo them and move them, and they're just not doing.
Is there any way to drive around?
Yeah.
No, unfortunately there isn't to drive around them here. You got a cliff on one side and kind of a.
Well, the other way to do this, and I'm just offering this as an option, not saying this is the best decision. I could just drop a whirlwind right in front and just lift them and place them elsewhere. They might not be alive when I put them down, but they won't be in the road.
You know that these creatures are sacred to these people here.
Let's
Right.
let's
Like
make it
I
like
said.
option D. Obviously, Henri and his bread and Gregor, like that's like what I would love.
That is
If-
top tier.
Push comes to shove, I'm willing to just shove them.
But they would have to push you.
Oh, well, sure.
Okay.
How about this? I think Pavel and Gregor, like we spent many a time traveling around. Now, cows were not his thing, obviously. It was mostly donkeys and goats and everything. But he does have some. He's a fairly good survivalist. So I think I would like to at least try with Gregor and I, and perhaps even with Henri's assistance, to just see if we can just go out there, just maybe a different voice, and see if I can just use like, some sort of natural way of moving them before we completely obliterate these sacred creatures.
I love it. I realized I actually have skill points in survival.
Yeah.
Madness.
I have one too.
I was gonna say you could do like a will tactics roll to try and like
Ooh.
coordinate and get these things, try to shoo them and move them, like coordinate this whole thing, move them along. We're gonna use that as our roll.
Tactics, not like animal handling or.
Sure, you can use animal handling.
I don't actually have animal handling. I was just looking because I wouldn't roll tactics and I have 0.
I'll
It's
roll
a-
tactics.
It
if you
suggests
do
your will
animal
tactics
handling.
and leadership as the.
Leadership
I know,
for
I know.
cows?
There's an
Frick
animal handling.
I
focus.
know.
Don't ask questions.
Magic,
All right, I will.
magic.
Magic.
They're magical cows.
Yes, they are. Do not harm these cows.
If you're doing tactics, that's you, Jeremy.
Okay, I'll give it a go then.
Boom, that's all you need. All right, so you get. How do you start shooing these things off? What do you do to ignite this movement in the cattle?
All right, so first thing first, like one of the things I remember back home, usually you do something to kind of get the field of vision that you don't want them paying attention to. Get some blinders to the side of them. Then you kind of just get up, you introduce something unusual behind them. They can't see to the sides of them. They're not quite sure, so they just kind of start shuffling forward. And I just, I get Gregor chittering. I do some rock, paper, scissors with him, kind of get him worked up. Maybe he hacks a little bit after a cigarette. And then we just kind of keep, if some of the people of this fellas, they're willing to work with us, they can walk to the sides of the cows, kind of keep their eyes, veering forward. It's kind of like, the way you get cattle to go through a chute before they're slaughtered, but, we're not going that far with it.
Yeah. All right. So the leader, he comes over to you and he's like thanking you. He's like grabbing your arm and kind of like shaking it and thanking you. You don't know what he's saying, but he looks really happy.
Hey, yeah.
So you shoo the cows up ahead, up the road. You guys are slowly driving behind them, and you get to a point where they can be shuffled then off to the road, like beside the road and out of your way. And the nomad tribe is also walking slowly with the cattle as they're being shooed up, and the trucks are slowly driving forward. And you finally get to an area that's clear and they can be moved aside. And again, that leader comes over to Lieutenant Joshi, and you hear him, Pavel. He goes, my bagat is very, not baguette, bagat is very is very, very thankful and would like to meet some of the people in your party if they may. And he looks and he points over in your direction, Pavel, and you can hear this. You're listening to it. He would like to meet them if that is okay. And bagat in their language, it translates to like magician or priest. You'd know that, knowing the language, Pavel.
So this is the
leader has come over to Lieutenant
Jadev. Is that what
Jadev?
Okay.
The Banjara leader.
And so I'm overhearing him.
Yeah, you're hearing this, and he's pointing at you and like the five of you.
Oh, but Pavel doesn't need an excuse to be friendly, so he will come. Let's say hello. He wants to meet us. Come. Hello. And I will speak obviously in Hindi.
Yeah, and he welcomes you and greets you, and he clasps your hand and he welcomes you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for doing that in such a peaceful manner and moving the cattle forward. You're very grateful. Namido, our Bagat, he's requested to meet the five of you. He
says, what did he request this if you've been standing next to the cows?
He's been waiting for you, he says.
Okay.
Well, the tribe's been there. They've been walking with you also. They know who you guys are. Everybody's kind of watching and walking.
Are they here, like nearby? Or?
He's here. We are setting up some seats because they have they're traveling nomads, right? So they have their belongings with them. He said, "There's this tree over there. You can go sit under, and he's waiting to speak with you."
I would be happy to go speak. Who wants to go speak with Mito, a guy who says that he's been waiting for us in this completely and totally random blockage of traffic?
Yeah.
You know what? If he's a big deal, we should take some of our special teapots and our tea. Let's share our super special Atlantean tea with this dude. If he's their magic person.
Sure. What Captain Wolf? What do you think?
I think, Pavel, if you want to go talk to this guy, I'm going to be attached to your hip because nobody is going to put you in the ground unless it's me.
Unless it's you. Right, of course. Yes, this is a weird relationship here. I'd say I feel like, are we friends? Am I your hostage? But no, we'll cover that later. I just think so often the locals can give you more information than the MI6 agent who thinks he knows some. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were standing there, Lieutenant Yoshi. One moment. And yeah, I'll go over.
Henri's gonna stealth, but not go with you. Like he's gonna sneak around to try and.
roll me a stealth difficulty 2. You're out in the
I also
open,
wanna
in the middle of the
be-
day.
Like away from.
You don't speak Hindi, but yeah, go for it. You want to be away
Like,
from?
Like outside the building or wherever they're meeting, like somewhere.
And they're
like,
meeting under a
around
tree.
there.
There's a tree nearby, and he's.
Well, just because we're meeting a random person doesn't mean something bad's gonna happen.
That's true.
So I'm rolling stealth. Oh, I keep doing that. I click the ability and then not the skill.
You're fine. All right, so you kind of blend in. You go into the herd of cattle. People don't really notice you, and you're off.
I'm holding the udders under a cow.
Gross. Okay. Whoever's going is guided by Jadav, the leader of this nomad group. And he brings you can hear someone singing as you're heading over to this tree, and on the other side of this tree you see a small old man. He's sitting there cross-legged, and he's singing away, and he stops when he sees you. He's got deep wrinkles in his face, and he smiles when he sees the four of you.
I will smile and then stick my tongue out at him because we just learned that, and he.
That's the Tibetan.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
He kind of turns his head, and he moves his head. He bobs his head from side to side when he sees you, and he goes, "I'm honored to meet the bearers of the goat's eye," he says.
He says he's honored to meet the bearers of the goat's eye, or which one of you is carrying a goat's eye?
If you remember, those necklaces that you were given to go
Medallions, yeah.
underwater looked like an eye.
Oh. Well, hello. Pleasure to meet the sitter under the tree near a traffic jam.
Make me an insight observation roll.
This guy
anybody
is about
who's there
to-
can.
Is this Sir?
Actually, no,
My name
it's gonna be
Sir.
just Jeff and Jeremy who makes this roll.
Okay.
Insight
Insight
observation.
Do we have that one momentum? Because I'll burn it.
I think so. I think I got it from my
Yeah.
You got it
roll
from
or
stealth?
something.
Yep.
All right, I'll burn it just in case.
Oh my
Oh.
god. I'll take the threat because
How
I'm
did
gonna,
Come
I
on,
make
Jeremy.
that?
Thank you so much. That's
I'm gonna take the threat for that because we're not gonna have a
No.
complication here.
I want you to teleport 20 casters on us right now. Do
Oh
it.
my god.
Different fight tonight.
You're sitting there, and like you heard him whistling this tune, and you recognize it, Jonathan. You've heard this tune before, and you kind of think back, and you go, "You've heard Serling Lama kind of humming this tune that this old man was whistling, and also Sheikh Janin in Egypt. You overheard him kind of singing the same tune that this old man is whistling under the tree."
I will horribly butcher trying to whistle it.
Whistle it back, the same tune.
Yeah, because it's one of those things like you hear a song that you vaguely remember, you kind of just. That's a good one. Only really interesting people know that one. I'll let Pavel know. I've heard it before.
Oh, that's what that was. Oh, well, you are very clever. I didn't realize you were so musically inclined.
Yeah, actually, like, because there was the thing in the notes about like the music, so like I had
Oh.
music on the brain.
That's what it is. Boy, you're not just muscle, are you? You're like the whole package.
Yeah, I've been called a package before.
Good.
I don't really understand what it was supposed to mean.
Compliment, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Wait, does that mean this is sorry? And does that mean that the other guy was sorry too? Are they all the same people?
It could be. I don't know. I don't ask questions. I'm gonna say yes. Why not? Let's go with it.
And he said he would
He
not
said he would not
us.
remember. You hear under the
Yeah.
cow.
Oh my god, the cow is talking. They are holy.
Holy cow!
It's just like
got
Gregor. We
a
should take the
French
cow with us
accent.
too.
It's the French cows.
Captain Wolf
Um,
just kind of bows his head, he grabs the bridge of his nose. It's like, what have I gotten myself into?
You get used
Oh,
to
it's
it.
only
You'll
gonna get
used
better.
to it. Oh yes. Yes, we make it fun.
So the Bagat says to you, Pavel, because you understand, he says, "You may ask me questions about your journey ahead. What would you like to know?"
Captain, he says we can ask him questions. He might have intelligence on our journey ahead. Is there anything you would like me to ask him?
What does he know about those brides of Durga? What kind of a threat do they represent to our mission?
And I will translate that perfectly. Like no Pavel flourish, just a straight question.
He says, I know they're headed to Alora, just like you. But you must beware of the spirits of ignorance and loss, for their touch is the mind's oblivion. If the Red Mother's wives and the wolves in sheep's clothing prove to be too much, call for the venerable blue warriors from the north. They will be listening.
Pavel will translate that again perfectly.
You can make me, Pavel, you can make me a Reason Academia occult specific roll if you'd like.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
I know you've been waiting for some occult here.
The blue
Reason, huh?
Blue
People
warriors from the north.
Right, sounds just like the blue warriors we just.
Those were blue-hatted monks.
Well, they're using the
And
same
they weren't
color.
very good warriors. I mean, they got their asses kicked like really bad. I'm gonna give you a threat just so I can roll this because I don't have very good reason.
Sure.
Like I do have. So focus.
Holy
nice.
moly. Yeah, so you kind of, you're sitting there and you're trying to decipher and glean what he's talking about. So from the Red Mother, with your background in occult and things like that, it probably refers to Durga, who is often shown wearing a red as a symbol of action. And the Blue Warriors of the North, a little trickier, but you do recall hearing of a group or a sect of Sikh warriors known as the Nihans, who wear blue and are known to reside in the north of this region.
Okay. And obviously, Pavel would be sharing everything with his new best friend, Captain Wolf.
Sure.
So what you're telling me, Pavel, is this gentleman is telling us to worry about the actual Durga as well as this cult of crazies, possibly knocked wolf agents based on this whole wolves in sheath clothing, and that we might get help from a group of Sikh warriors who wear blue.
Yes, that sounds right. Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
He also interjects almost like he understands Wolf, and he goes, "Oh, and the music is your key to entry, your first steps into the temple."
Well,
Pavel, ask him
Sergeant Morris.
what music.
What music? Was it what you were humming?
Remember there was music or something like that mentioned. Musical columns tuned to specific notes is mentioned in the notes.
Yeah.
This is as key to your to the entrance.
But does he know what notes we need to touch, press, play these columns?
I think sing under the cow.
Yeah, I don't. My pitch ain't so good, so.
I think you're right, Magical Cow. I think Sergeant Morris will have to sing our way into the temple.
Hey,
Yeah, okay.
Pavel, ask him if we're supposed to summon these blue warriors of the north. How do we go about doing that if we need backup?
Good question. How do we contact them? Like I can summon.
He just
things,
reaches
but
to his-
usually just weather.
He just reaches to his ear and tugs his earlobe, and he says, "They will be listening. They will be listening." He just repeats and smiling at you.
Right. More of this hoodoo shit, right?
Yes, that's exactly what he said, but not
Okay.
with the profanity. Yes.
All right.
Wolf, as
Okay.
you're kind of like you're kind of skeptical and not buying it. He reaches out and he takes your hands and he grabs a few cowrie shells and he places in your hand and then places some saffron colored thread into each of your hands into your hand with it, and he kind of holds his hand on top and he does this to each of you, and he explains that it's a representation of Lakshmi, our goddess and a symbol of good fortune. I hope you will not need it, but it never hurts to be prepared. And he smiles, and he wishes you good luck. Good luck on your journey.
Thank you, Mayor. We appreciate the guidance you have given us.
Hey, ask him one more question. Does he know any
one more-
shortcuts to this place that we're going? We can maybe
Yeah,
get
he'll-
ahead of these people.
He'll do the Columbo thing. He'll start walking. Oh, one more thing. Do you know a quicker way to get to the temple?
He smiles. He says, "It does not matter at this point. The Red Mother's wives in the sheep's and wolf's clothing are already ahead of you and have beaten you to it. You must retrieve the weapon before they do."
Right then.
Well,
So
then.
we're done talking. Let's move out and draw fire troops. We got to get on the road.
Yep. Goodbye, Namita. Thank you for your advice. Okay, come, magical cow. Let us go. Come on.
Moo.
Oh, that's just a normal cow.
Doesn't have a French accent when amused.
Doesn't.
Yeah.
Really?
Sacre me.
No.
Oh, God. Oh, goodness.
Here we go.
Oh, it hurts me.
All right. So you get back in the trucks. You say goodbye. The nomadic tribe waves to you as you continue on full speed down the road. You guys carry on the road towards the caves of Allura. And you eventually hit some scrubby woodland. And you're unable to go any further in your trucks. And you're going to have to leave them here and move on foot. Lieutenant Josie informs you. But the thing you notice that there are also 5 German Opel Blitz trucks already parked here.
Lieutenant, we might want to leave a contingency of forces with our vehicles, pull them back. Let's spike the tires on these German trucks and sand the engines. They get back here, I want them walking out of here, not driving out of here.
He shakes
So
his head.
mean. I love it.
Orders his men, and they start doing that. They take out their knives and start popping the tires and making these things render them useless.
Too bad your old friend's not here. What, you said he could pick up trucks? Good
Put
God
his mind
almighty.
and then smash it into a different truck.
Mhm.
Don't feel intimidated by him. You're very good at what you do.
Yeah, right.
That you can't fill his shoes, though. But you can fill your own, so there's that, you know.
You've done a lot of funny drugs, haven't you there, Pavel? That's all right. I
Just
don't
life, you know. Just life. It's everything from the earth, you know. If it grows out of the earth, it's probably fine.
care. Fair enough. Lieutenant, are you coming in with us? Your men coming in with us, or are you just going to hold perimeter?
No, we're going to accompany you as well. We're going in there to support you.
All right, let's do this.
All right, so you guys...
Sergeant Morse, you got point. Move out,
All
soldier.
right. I'm excited. It's going to be great.
All
Are
right.
we being sneaky? I love when we're sneaky.
We're very good at it.
We're so
We
good at
forgot
it.
to tell Captain Wolf about that, how good we are at sneaking.
We're amazing at stealth.
You told
Really
me you
good.
suck at stealth. That is why we didn't do it with the last plan. That's why I went by myself with Pavel.
Well, you see,
Yes,
we
but-
wanted to try, but then, things and stuff.
Communication problem, you know. And then things kind of got at the hand really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But you were really good at it until you fell off the building.
It had nothing to do with being quiet.
I didn't. I just said until you fell off the building, you were very good.
You know what? I was gonna give everyone a butt get, but
And
No.
this is us stealthing as we move forward.
Just said
Yeah,
it's very
how we're
good.
doing
I'm giving
out
you
loud.
a compliment. Always focusing on the negative.
So you set out through the brush. You eventually come to a river, and there's a rickety bridge leading to the other side. You cross that, and On the other side, there are several caves. There's smaller, lesser caves as you're moving, and you keep pushing on through them. You're kind of watching. You can see that people have been through here. It's all trampled, and a great number of people have been through here recently, it looks like. And you press on until you eventually come to this grand cave, and its entrance is magnificently carved with weathered gods and goddesses in a variety of different poses. And above the doorway is a balcony that gives a view of the whole area. All of a sudden you can hear like a clicking coming from Ruby's backpack, and she pulls out that statue that was given to her by Serling Lama, and you can see the arms are now outstretched and pointing into a particular rock temple. Like I said, there's a number of them around here. You're in a big grand one. There's different offshoots, and it starts pointing. It's pointing up at the direction of one certain temple. When you move it away, its arm starts to lower. When you move it back in front of that temple, its arm raises straight ahead, pointing you onwards to where you assume you must be going. And then it swirls back and points at the shield on, what's his name, on Jonathan's back.
Having this like craziness, doing dance moves, doesn't know where to point.
So you guys,
Well, Lieutenant McKay, Sergeant Morris, looks like we've got a direction. Let's move out.
yeah, you guys move into the caves, and it's pitch black in there. We're assuming the soldiers. Oh, you can see in the dark. The soldiers brought torches with them and are properly equipped for this. But you head in. Are you taking the point now, Henri? As you can see in the dark.
I will, without telling anybody, since
All right,
They
roll me your
can't
stealth.
see.
Roll me your
I
stealth.
will
You only
go
need
first.
one here
okay.
as you disappear into the darkness.
Stealth.
Boom,
There
ba
we
ba
go.
boom. All right, so you disappear into the darkness. You start moving silently through there. You can see everything around you. Again, there's carved figures. There's like murals, old cracking, flaking murals on the walls in this cave. And ahead of you, you can see a magnificently carved entrance to something else. It leads into what almost appears to be like a courtyard. It's square, the entrance, and it's got all sorts of symbols and writing all around the outside of it. And from here, looking in, you can see there are some torches that have been lit and are just laying on the ground. So there's some light flickering, and you swear it looks like there's like maybe the shadows of people maybe laying on the ground, not moving, kind of scattered about from here. You can see you can't really make out numbers as you're kind of standing on the outside. You can get up to the entrance, you peer in. It looks like maybe there's like half a dozen what appears to be German soldiers laying there. They've got the black armbands in their arm with the wolf's paw in the middle of it, laying there motionless as these torches are burning and flickering on the ground around them. That's all you really see in here. And it's like a courtyard that you're looking into from this entrance.
And it leads to like another
There's a
door.
Yeah, so inside the courtyard, then there's another building or a central temple within here. Scattered around the courtyard, there are stone carvings of elephants everywhere, just looking in every direction. Like you can't escape their gaze.
I will, sneak up to one of the Germans to see like if I can figure out if they were like injured somehow, or if they just seem unconscious, or if it is magic.
Sure.
Like if he doesn't have a reason behind
make-
it, but just to see.
I won't make you re-roll. You go to the nearest one, and they're lying there, and you get over there, and they appear to be like white as a ghost. Their skin and their mouths, their eyes are wide open, almost like stuck in a state of fright, like they were screaming and frightened.
And they don't
when
seem
they
to be
die.
conscious.
And you don't see any wounds on the bodies whatsoever, at least on this one. And his heart is not beating. You check. He's dead. There's no pulse. You grab his wrist.
Yeah, I will quietly sneak back and kind of relay the unnatural state of their, death, or, the state that they're in.
Well, looks like we got our work cut out for us. Don't anybody here get the heebie-jeebies like that?
What? People keep using all these terms that I am so unfamiliar with.
Don't get so afraid that you piss your pants and stop your heart. You shorten that, it's the heebie-jeebies.
Right. It doesn't really have a ring to it when you say it like that. It's kind of long.
I mean, we could just say, "Don't be a piss pants," if you like that better. Then you get the alliterations.
Pava, you got any idea what could do something
Well, it's
to soldiers like
many,
this?
Many things could probably supernaturally destroy someone's soul or spirit, but we were told that music was the first step. Perhaps they did not know the right notes, chords to get inside, and whatever's guarding that the music bypasses did this to them. At least that is my first guess.
Right. And there were statues, so maybe we need to walk up to one and make some sort of note to each of them.
Well, let's fan out and see if we can figure out what's going on in here before any of us end up like them.
Yeah, so you enter and you start looking around. As soon as like the group of you enter and you start to step in, and you see almost like a white mist appear by some of the statues, and these ethereal figures glide out of the statues and carvings nearby. And at first they look like very handsome, beautiful men and women, but soon their visages change to anger and their lips curl into furious snarls, and they transform into these red ethereal beings with 6 arms and no legs, floating through the sky angrily towards you. They look like that, and there's about 8 to 10 of them.
Holy crap.
And we'll leave off there. We'll start with combat next time.
Well, that's going to be a fun fight.
Leo's armor spell's still on us.
Yeah, Leo's spells are still intact. Ruby should be back with her supernatural dagger next week.
I was about to say I should swipe that from her.
What? That's terrible. Don't do that.
Fortunately, Captain Wolf does have his sword is a Bane weapon.
That berserk sword's so bad.
There we go. All right, so we'll leave off there. Our journey to the temple to find the next Paladin is well underway. We might actually... We'll see how long it goes, but we'll probably get through India pretty fast here as well. So let's do a round tables here. Jeff, what do you got going on?
Yeah, tomorrow night, twitch.tv/the Lollygaggers. We're playing Hunter the Reckoning. You can see Aaron and I in that game. Saturday, we are playing One Ring 2nd Edition. Monday, Jeremy and I will be playing some Holler for Savage Worlds. And we have a new game on Tuesdays now, Haunted West. Our friend Steven is GM in that game. I am a player. And it's very fun. We just started this week. It's like Weird West, Haunted West stuff. So it's good times.
Very cool. Aaron, what do you got going on?
Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. British Summer Time, we are going to be playing some more Blades in the Dark, where our crew of assassins, the Red Ledgers, will start their second score, and we may see somebody put on a dive suit and go into one of the haunted canals of
cool.
Duskwall.
That's pretty cool.
Could happen.
Tough choice.
That is very cool.
Leadbelly is a bold and terrified man, or terrifying man.
I'm gonna die young.
It's
Blades in the Dark. You're not supposed to live, right?
Yeah.
Then Monday on Garblight Games, there is City of Mist with Ben running that. Tuesday, I believe Millie will be running some Coriolis. Wednesday, we will be back with Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition, Once Upon a Time in the Old World. And then Thursday, I believe Garblight Games at 9 p.m. British Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time will be starting their One Ring 2nd Edition backup before we return for Achtung Cthulhu.
Achtung Cthulhu. Jeremy, tell me about this Patreon.
Yeah, and recent on Patreon, you've got comics, maps, RPG assets. Check it out.
Very cool. Evan, you got anything?
Nope.
Negative. All right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again for Achtung, Cthulhu. We'll be back next week, Thursday, and we'll pick up with some fighting against some mystical creatures, which I know Pavel's been waiting for. Also, because it's just been regular people, and he's good against mystical stuff, occult stuff, supernatural
I haven't
stuff.
tried it yet. We'll find out.
True.
Gotta find out.
Yeah, we welcome Aaron's new character to see what they're capable of also. But thanks, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Thursday.